AI.
Thank you, Wim. And good morning, everyone. I'm very pleased that I have the honor to present the results of last year's TeBIT benchmarking that we work on since almost 15 years. We're in the 15th year now. And how did we start? So during the last couple of years, we learned that AI makes telcos smart, but we wanted to raise the questions, are telcos smart about AI? And that's a bit the thinking that we put into this benchmark that we conducted with you. And if you're not familiar with the TeBIT benchmark as such, the TeBIT benchmark is an annual benchmark among the ETIS members. We have some logos here which participated for the first time and then become members afterwards, but most are members. And what you can also see, what is in common, we are talking about European telco operators here, so a very specific perspective on Europe. And then we have a topic that changed every year based on interest of you. And last year, as mentioned, we looked into Gen AI and AI with 4+1 lens. On the one hand, we have the baselining, overall revenue and technology cost. We have small participants, we have large participants, and to really, let's say, compare the results, we use revenues and cost. Then we looked into the status quo, into the maturity of the industry and you as the organizations. We looked into investments into Gen AI and AI. We provided a list of use cases and asked you in what implementation status are these use cases. And then we discussed the expected benefits from these use cases. If we look at the baseline, there is little change over time. This is the IT cost as % of revenues, and we also can see the split. What is interesting, what we can see, is that there was a shift from 22 to 2023 in shifting from CapEx to OpEx. This is driven, on the one hand, shift to cloud. Transformations are taking effect so that we can see the shift. Overall cost baseline is quite similar. A small uptake, which is roughly the amount of investments in AI that we can see. Not sure whether this fits. And we can also see that the degree of spend into material expenses is going down. So we are shifting to a services model, software as a service, infrastructure provided by cloud. That's a bit what we can see as the fundamental shift. And we will look at this in the next coming years again and see whether this holds or whether there's also some, let's say, financial accounting aspects that take into place last year. But that's just for comparing you. When we look into the overall AI maturity, we checked across different dimensions how mature are organizations, and we compared it against a global BCG industry benchmark. You can see the different categories, AI in the beginning, emerging, scaling, and we call it AI future build, so the highest maturity in AI is here. You see different industry and how they compare. You can see the industry's average, we can the leaders average, and we see the benchmark participants from the ETIS community on the bottom. And what we see, there is a broad spread. So a lot to learn for you from each other during this gathering. How can we increase maturity? What are others doing to really benefit? And we have some leaders here. One of the participants high on the AI future build trajectory, really leveraging AI, being ready for AI to use it. Unfortunately, I cannot name the tech operators, but you might find out during the discussions. If we look into the dimensions, so what we did is, these are the dimensions for AI maturity, and we compared the benchmark participant results against the global telco averages. And we can see that you, as the participants group, lag behind in customer experience and operations. These are the areas where the AI maturity is lower than the average that we can see in the global telco market. But, as we will see later, this is exactly the areas where the expectations mainly materialize. It's efficiency as the core driver, and that's in customer experience and operations. And the others, strategy, technology, operating model, the participants were much ahead compared to the competition globally. When we ask for how much do you spend on AI and Gen AI, we normalized with revenues. And as you can see, ETIS participants here, 0.25% of revenues are invested into AI and Gen AI. If we compare this to the global telecom industry average from our BCG benchmark, we see a delta. So feel free to invest more into AI and Gen AI, but wisely, and I will come to this in a second. One thing that concerns me a bit is this was spent actuals that was estimated last year, and this is the plan for 2025, which is going down again. And I would question a bit, but let's discuss during the community gathering here, whether we need to invest or continue the investments into AI, or whether we are already done with our investments into AI. Having said that, we provided a list of roughly 50 AI use cases from community discussions, industry offerings, discussions with individual telco operators in 7 clusters. And you can see the clusters here. And we ask, where are you in the implementation of these use cases? Are they at scale? Are they in implementation? Is something you're driving POCs on, proof of concept? Is this considered? And we even had a category tried but discontinued. And on this axis, you can see percentage of use cases at scale. On the other axis, you can see percentage of use cases not considered. And then we have the share of use cases in POC as the bubble size. What stands out here? Marketing and sales, digital data and IT is the most common use cases at scale. 40% of the use cases on average are at scale. On product offer management, there is little activity in terms of bringing them to scale or not even considering what to do in this. So this is really the area to look into. Where can AI help to optimize the product and offers, the portfolio, etc.? And one thing where we see a lot of telco operators in a trial and error mode, that's the support functions. It's finance, it's legal, it's also the other support functions that we have in HR, for example. There we see, and that's the bubble size, a lot of proof of concept, but not yet at scale. So it looks like telco operators are familiar with AI in marketing, sales, digital data. They are experimenting in support functions. And in product and offer management, let's say the initial thinking, the trigger to leverage this more is still a bit missing. We also ask, among these clusters of use cases, what are the expectations on AI? And what we can see, and we saw it on a slide earlier as well, the most important expectation is efficiency and productivity increase. Then we have revenues as the second, customer targeting, reducing risk and churn here as well. And you can see network, operations, digital data, that's the piece where we talk about efficiency and productivity. Customer service, efficiency, but also, of course, customer targeting. Same for support function. Here it's mainly around the efficiency, but also improving business steering, etc. And then we have marketing and sales, customer targeting, but also increasing the revenue management, product and offer management. Of course, those 2 clusters where we see the biggest impact in increasing the revenue. That was the 5 lenses, bringing us to 5 key takeaways. What we are seeing in the discussion is that if strategic thinking about AI might be lagging a bit among the participants, so developing a real strategic AI agenda. Some of the participants have taken this up, started really thinking through an AI agenda, AI strategy, etc., which would then require also planning investments and priorities accordingly, really driving this as a strategic priority with an investment budget and investing wisely into the right topics. Some might require to extend the tech architecture plans. We have seen still legacy solutions in place, which makes it difficult to implement AI on top. This is also why we see marketing and sales on the forefront. Here, data is usually captured quite well available compared to network data, where efficiency improvements are harder to get because of the data deep in the networks, to get it out from there. Then establish a Gen AI innovation culture. Why not try fast, fail fast culture like that? Really exploring opportunities from AI. And then the last one, AI is a lever for transformation. It is not just a technology choice or a technology use case. It can help to transform the organization, leveraging AI where helpful, where increasing efficiency and focusing effort on those areas where telcos can differentiate. And with this, I want to close the presentation. Thank you to all of you for the participation. We rely on you to provide your data, to develop the industry insights. We are keen on keeping on developing these insights. We have a 15-year trajectory, and I really count on you to participate in the 15th annual benchmark that we will kick off right after this meeting, right? Then? All right. Thanks a lot.
Okay, we address now the three major themes, the new verticals, AI, the resilience and security. So I think it's time for something completely